Hola amigos, saludos desde el Instituto Cervantes de Nueva Delhi. Greetings from the Instituto Cervantes of New Delhi. I am Òscar Pujol, the director of the Instituto Cervantes here in Delhi. I hope you are enjoying this first virtual fair study in Spain. As I said this morning, there are many advantages little known to the Indian student to study at the Spanish universities, like the excellence of the teaching, affordable prices, and a high standard of living in an European country. But I would like to concentrate in my address now to the last of these advantages, and that is the possibility of learning the second language of international communication, which is Spanish. So I would like to say first why to study Spanish today, and second how to do it. First thing, and that's very important, the learning of Spanish is not like learning any other language, because one thing is clear: after English, Spanish is the most sought after language in the world. And if you are going to study in Spain, of course, you can learn the language by what we call language immersion. That's it. By living there and speaking to your friends, speaking to your colleagues, speaking to your classmates while staying in Spain. But of course, it would be very useful for you to pick up a little bit of Spanish before going into a Spanish university. And that you can do by studying in your own country. But why learning Spanish? First, me tell you about the history of Spanish in India. I would like to say that the presence of Spanish in India has set a spectacular development in recent decades. From being practically an unknown language beyond the scope of Hispanic studies, it has become a favorite language, being taught at different levels at many universities in India. Spanish has a high growth potential, and according to some authors, it is beginning to displace French and German in private schools. According to an article in India Today magazine, Spanish is the third foreign language whose knowledge provides the best salaries in India, behind Chinese and French. The Instituto Cervantes in New Delhi has the highest number of students in the world. And mind you, Instituto Cervantes has more than 80 centers in 44 countries, in 5 continents, in cities like London, Paris, New York, Beijing, Tokyo. So it is not a small achievement to know and to have that Delhi is the number one in Spanish students for our institute all over the world. Moreover, India traditionally was not an area of influence for Spanish-speaking countries, but now the trend is reversed. In recent years, the study of Spanish here in India has shown a great growth in its modality of Spanish as a foreign language. And Hispanic studies too are in good health and running now in their third generation. As I said, the number of universities offering degrees and masters in Spanish has also increased. Now there are many private schools that offer Spanish, especially in the international curriculum, and in Indian elite schools that follow a national curriculum. I will remind you that the series in India's popular Patal Lok show in its first episode a Spanish language class in an Indian school. This would have been unthinkable a few decades ago, when Spanish was hardly present. Now, Spanish is one of the best options as a foreign language in a private Indian school. Why has this happened? And why Spanish is becoming increasingly important, as I said, not only in Spain, but all over the world, and especially in the American continent? First of all, 49 crores people have Spanish as their mother tongue. and an overall of 58 crore speakers. Spanish is the second mother tongue in the world by number of native speakers after Mandarin Chinese, and the third language in a global tally of speakers after English and Mandarin Chinese. As I keep saying, Spanish is the second language of international communication, the third in internet after English and Chinese, and the second in the social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. There are about 20 Spanish-speaking countries in the American continent, and Brazil is also a country where Spanish is widely spoken and understood. More than 40 million people speak Spanish in the United States, being the fifth in the world in terms of native speakers, after Mexico and Spain. In 2060, the United States will be the second Spanish-speaking country in the world, after Mexico and ahead of Spain itself. The idea that Spanish is important to live or work in the United States is recurrent in India. The presence of Spanish in the United States is an important reason for its popularity, since many young people have their professional careers set on that country. On the other hand, it must be borne in mind that the Indo-American population exceeded 45 lakhs in 2018, and it is one of the fastest growing communities with the best income. Aware of the importance of Spanish, these Indian expats very often when visiting India encourage their younger members of the family to learn the Spanish language. Moreover, Latin American countries are becoming increasingly strong, both in economic terms and international forums. The world Spanish speakers have a combined purchasing power of around 9% of the world GDP. If the Hispanic community in the United States were an independent country, his economy would be the 8th largest in the world. So, Spanish occupies the third position in the classification of language according to its contribution to the world GDP, though a considerable distance from Chinese 18% and English 32%. The American continent is both the continent of the present and of the future. In terms of demography, land mass, and natural resources, you will not find anything like that in the whole world. A continent like America, where a wealth of resources and ample natural spaces offer a unique opportunity for growth. And that continent speaks Spanish. So as I said, if you are going to Spain and you are going to enroll at a Spanish university with affordable prices and also with high quality education, and on top of that you will go out of Spain knowing the language of Spanish, your whole professional career will change and many doors of the world will open for you and new avenues will come, for you to find work not only in Spain but in so many different countries, even in your native India. Now let me address the second question. How to learn Spanish and where to learn Spanish if you are in India. As I said, knowing a little bit of Spanish will be of immense help when you go into Spain. And I would like to introduce you the Instituto Cervantes, which is a public institution founded in 1991 by the government of Spain, with the aim of promoting Spanish language teaching. The Instituto Cervantes specializes in the teaching of Spanish as a foreign language to young professionals. Instituto Cervantes has its own syllabus, which establishes the appropriate foundation for the teaching of universal, well-spoken Spanish, while respecting the variety found among the diverse Spanish-speaking communities. Teaching at the Cervantes is done in a flexible manner, with the aid of the most up-to-date technology. Professors include both native from Spain and from Latin America and non-native speakers. And the teaching staff is specialized in modern techniques for the teaching of Spanish as a foreign language. All teachers take courses designed to perfect their skills on a yearly basis to ensure quality service. We never have more than 15 students per classroom to ensure that you start speaking Spanish right from the beginning and you can practice while sitting in the classroom. The good news now, of course, if you are in Delhi, you can come to our center in Connaught Place, Hanuman Road. But the good news now is that even if you are not in Delhi, you can learn with us. Because we have 4 different types of courses. First, an online course with 60 hours of video conferencing in a virtual classroom. Then, secondly, we have blended courses, which mean 30 hours with self-learning with our online application, which we call AVE, Aula Virtual de Español, and 30 hours of video conferencing with our teachers. Then the third option, of course, is going for a full self-learning course of AVE, Aula Virtual de Español. And finally, if you are in Delhi, we have the traditional method of face-to-face courses. I would like to say that since the pandemic set in, we're really working hard to perfect our online teaching. And that our online teaching is basically based on 3 pillars. First, a learning platform, which we use right now, the Google Classroom, as a learning management system. Before there was only the classroom. Now you have a whole environment that is in the cloud and that allows you a continuous study. The content is there available for you at 24 hours. There are interactive activities, videos, PowerPoint presentations, a bulletin board. The student can upload this content such as homework and be evaluated, both by the teachers and by other students. The good thing about our learning platform is that it is ubiquitous and very user-friendly. We have also what we say resources, online resources, which include the textbook and campus diffusion with interactive resources. An electronic library from the publishing house, textbook online, online videos, grammar clips, graded sitcoms, 2 or 3 minutes, related to specific vocabulary field, be it home, the city, the office, traveling, at the restaurant. And finally, of course, the third pillar is our 60-hour video conference hours. I mean to say that the online system, allow us to benefit for resources that before were not available to us. So please, I would like also to introduce you, our 2 teachers that will be standing here on our stand during the fair. You can ask them about the different possibilities to study Spanish before going to Spain at the Cervantes Institute, both online and face-to-face. And I'm very happy, to introduce you Luis Martul, our teacher, and Rosa Borrajo. They will be here aiding you and guiding you, through all your questions. And मैं मुझे तो हिंदी बोलने का इजाज़त दीजिए। मैं सिर्फ इतना कहना चाहता हूँ कि भारतीय लोगों के लिए हिंदी सीखना तो बहुत सारा है, विशेष रूप से उच्चारण की दृष्टि से, क्योंकि स्पेनिश में तो लगभग सिर्फ 22 साउंड्स होंगे, जबकि हिंदी में लगभग तो 50 होते हैं। तो और 22 साउंड्स में से सिर्फ 2 लेटर, 2 अक्षर उच्चारण की दृष्टि से थोड़ा क्लिष्ट हैं, थोड़ा कठिन हैं, थोड़ा मुश्किल हैं। बाकी ये सब तो आपके हिंदी लैंग्वेज और दूसरे भारतीय भाषाओं में भी निहित है, तो इसका उच्चारण करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा। शुरू से तो आप आसानी से बोल सकेंगे और बहुत साफ उच्चारण आएगा। तो प्लीज़ हिंदी सीखो, दुनिया का दरवाज़ा अब लोगों के लिए खुल जाएगा। हमारा हार्दिक नमस्कार।